Today, we're taking a look at 10 of my first vinyl purchases. Check it. CD players have fallen out of favor. Let's face it, everyone uses Spotify or iHeartRadio or, I don't know, insert whatever app you use while jogging at the gym. And even if you do have a CD player in your car and you're not fortunate enough to have a Bluetooth, you've probably went out and purchased one of those little adapter things that plug into your phone and go into the cassette rack. Vinyl purchases have went up over the years. It's not uncommon for people to make vinyl records as awesome memorabilia for the fans. While most will agree that vinyl on a record player gives off a different sound and a whole different feel, they're still just awesome to have in general. My vinyl collection started as a hand-me-down. I got a shit ton of records from my dad and his old record player. He didn't want any more. He just had nowhere to put them, so he gave them to me. Everything from the Beatles' Let It Be, Aerosmith, Cinderella, Blondie, Journey, Foreigner, Kansas, and pretty much anyone from that era. When I found out some of my favorite bands started making vinyls, I definitely jumped onto that and started purchasing them. And here are the first 10 that I remember buying. First up is NOFX's The War on Errorism. This was the first punk record that I ever bought. I'm gonna say I bought it in 2011, 2012, along with two others that we'll get to in a minute. This is like my favorite record by NOFX. This is the one that kind of got me started into liking them. I remember them playing the majority of this record on one of the Vans Warped Tours back when Bush was president. And you can see that George Bush is on the front of this. It's just a straight black vinyl. I didn't get any of the special ones or anything. I got this off of interpunk.com. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. It's an awesome website. They have a lot of killer stuff on sale. I bought some vinyls off that website for like $5 a piece. You can get really cool shit off of that website, and I'll leave that down below. But this is the first record that I got, and we'll get to the next one. Rancid's And Out Come the Wolves. This album is probably, if I was stranded on an island and it can only pick 10 albums, this is definitely in my top 10. I used to listen to this album from front to back when I was in high school. This album got me my bass guitar chops. Maxwell Murder, the first track on this record, is a fucking insane song. If you're trying to learn bass and you're into punk music, you know about Maxwell Murder. The bass solo in that is insane. It's only like a minute and a half long, 2 minutes tops. This one is currently in my record player. It is MXPX's Panic. This is like, I tend to buy records that are like the first albums or the first handful of songs that I've discovered from a band. And again, Warped Tour 2005, 2006, one of the first Warped Tours I went to, MXPX was touring their Panic record, and they played a shit ton of tracks from this. This album really turned me on to the band. Every single track on this album is fucking amazing. This is my favorite album from the band. One of my favorite all-time Pittsburgh bands signed by the band is the Space Pimps and their album Eternal Boy. Little known fact about this is that Eternal Boy is now the band's new name. They decided to ditch the Space Pimps name. This album is fucking phenomenal. From front to back, every single song on this is completely amazing. These guys are killer. If you haven't seen them live, go see them live. Their show's amazing. They're the closest thing that we're gonna get to Blink-182 in the Enema of the State / Take Off Your Pants and Jacket era. Revive. Their sound is totally that like 1999 through 2004 sound that awesome bands like Newfound Glory and The Starting Line and Blink put out. Definitely go see Eternal Boy. No longer the Space Pimps. But this is kind of a cool thing to have because they're no longer that band. I bought this record just in time for St. Paddy's Day. Oh, I want to say 2010, 2011. I figured I'd be a stereotypical fuck, and I went out and bought a 6-pack of Guinness. I went out and bought a small bottle of Jameson, and I blasted this all day long while drinking before a party. And then I ended up getting blackout drunk at a party, which is ironic because the album is called Blackout. If you haven't heard Dropkick Murphy's Blackout album, get the fuck on it. You got songs on here like Time to Go, which was on the first Tony Hawk Pro Skater video game, which was the first song I ever heard from the band and the first song that really turned me on to the band. It was cool hearing accordions and violins and bagpipes and shit in a band. It turned me on to the whole oi and the Celtic punk scene. This album is so obscure that it didn't really even come with a slipcover or anything. It just came in this packaging. That's it. It's Blink-182's Buddha. It's the first record from the band, from Kung Fu Records. They actually did a Screeching Weasel cover on here, the song The Girl Next Door. All the tracks are on this side. I've only listened to this a handful of times, but it's still a fun fucking thing for me to have. I mean, it's awesome to have this record. This is the first album that Blink came out with, and I'm a huge Blink-182 fan. Eventually, I plan on buying Enema of the State and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. I haven't got around to getting those yet. It's so fucking depressing being a Blink fan. And Enema and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket are my fucking two favorite albums from the band. So, but I have Buddha. I do have Buddha. I got this again off of Interpunk. I think it was like $20. Anywhere else I've went and seen, records like this or even rarities. I saw the MXPX record for $35 in FYE. Interpunk had it for $20. So you can find really cool shit on sale there. It's not an endorsement, just letting you know. I got this record when it first came out. It's through TDR Records and Modern Short Stories, which is Punchline's record label. This is Barely Blind's Wilder Child of a Thousand Suns. This is I mean, they've only had a couple records. This is their first full length, and it's fucking phenomenal. The inside has all the lyrics. It has these gorgeous men right here, and the album looks a lot like a Pokeball. I keep all my slip covers. Like NOFX once said in a song, I labeled all my slip covers. And the reason is because his wife tried to take everything and destroy it, and he figured, well, this has my name on it, so fuck you. This record's amazing. It's when the band kind of went to a more indie direction, and I really fucking loved it. It's so transitional and so much more of a grown-up record from the band. It's sad to see that the band is no longer together, but it's cool to have this album. It'd be cool to see TDR Records put out their first two EPs, My Life is a Giant and The Way We Operate. And there's only like 5 or 6 songs on either of those EPs, so it'd be cool if they put out like one album on one side, one album on the other, and call it like My Life with a Robot, because there's a robot on the Way We Operate album, which would be cool. Till then, here's this record, and you can also find their other 2 EPs on TDR stuff. I'll leave that in the description below. AntiFlag's Mobilize. I got this album at one of their shows, and I got the band members to sign it, which is fucking killer. I did open it up. I do listen to it. If you don't know, AntiFlag's a very political band. They're from Pittsburgh, my hometown. They have awesome lyrics on both sides of this. It's a straight black album. Side A, side B. If you're in the punk community, I know you've heard AntiFlag at least once or twice in your life. This album brings songs like Underground Network, Die for Your Government, Free Nation. I mean, they're all fucking killer tunes, and they play these songs live. I've been to at least a dozen AntiFlag shows in the last 15 years. And that's not counting the Vans Warped Tours and the random little festivals I've seen them at. These guys, if you've never seen them live, fucking go do it. They have an incredible live show. A lot of crowd participation. Pat Thedick, their drummer, puts his drum set in the middle of the floor while people are moshing around him, and then he has like fans hold his drum set down while he's playing. It's fucking amazing. AntiFlag. This is kind of going a little left field, but when I was in a string band, I love Old Crow Medicine Show. This is my favorite bluegrass / newgrass band. These guys, before Darius Rucker did the song Wagon Wheel. It's not on this record, but they did the song Wagon Wheel, which was originally a Bob Dylan tune, and they just took a Bob Dylan demo. Bob Dylan only wrote the chorus at the time, and he was kind of humming along some stuff, and then Ketch Secor, the lead singer of Old Crow Medicine Show, added some verses, which made the song blow the fuck up. And then years later, Darius Rucker, he'll always be Hootie to me, took the song and did his own thing to it and made it like top 40 bro country or whatever the fuck it is. But this album, heavy. I mean, heavy for a bluegrass song. Listen to the song Alabama High Test and Methamphetamine. Those 2 songs are just ridiculous. They're just about drugs. It's incredible. And then the song Caroline, I mean, their fucking harmony is so perfect. They have that southern twang, but just enough that it's not overbearing and annoying. Totally worth the purchase. I think I paid $35 for this. I think that sounds right. But love Old Crow Medicine Show. Love those guys. And last but not least, Punchline's Punchline's Action. This is the album that really got me invigorated and into these guys. It's sad, like, I was a pop punk kid in high school and didn't know who the fuck Punchline was until like 2005. Everyone talked them up. They went on tour with Fall Out Boy, Paramore, Boys Like Girls. This album's put out by Fueled by Ramen, Modern Short Stories, and TDR Records. TDR killing it. But this album, Heart Transplant and Battle Scars, those two songs, forget about it. If you don't know who Punchline is, listen to those two songs at least. This album from front to back is fucking amazing. There's not a song that's boring on it, not a slow down moment in it. Every song is unique in its own way, and it's not like you're listening to a whole bunch of monotony. Just seriously, listen to this album from front to back. It's on Spotify, I think, if you don't have the affordabilities to get a vinyl player and a vinyl record. And those were my first records. Now, I've went on and bought some more throughout the years, but I think the first 10 records that you buy kind of define you, in the sense that you tend to buy what you most enjoy. And that's exactly what I did. I bought albums that I fucking loved from bands that I absolutely adored. And maybe you should too. Links to all of the bands and the websites that I got the stuff from are in the description below. And let's just roll the outro. Hey guys, now that we're at the end of the video, thank you for commenting, and subscribing. You can check out daily blogs on thepoppunkdad.com, which features daily reviews and interviews from awesome bands. Head on over to the Pop Punk Dad official merch shop, where you can buy cool things like that right there. It helps the channel out and lets me know that you love me. I have a weekly podcast called the Pop Punk Dadcast, which is on SoundCloud and iTunes now. Please subscribe. While you're at it, cruise around and check out other content on this channel. You can check out all my social medias, my IG, my FB, and my Twitter, at the Pop Punk Dad. And above all else, guys, stay pop punk. Later.